Howdy folks, Eric here, back with another spicy standard brew today, playing 5-color enchantments featuring Marina Vendrell. 5-color legend from Duskmourn. When she enters, reveal the top 7 cards of your library, put all enchantment cards from among them in your hand, rest on the bottom in any order. Basically just a big card advantage piece for us. She has this extra ability about unlocking rooms and whatever. It might come up. We'll see if it comes up. Probably not. We are on a few Roaring Furnace / Steaming Sauna here, so it could. Otherwise, we're a base Bant enchantments list, 32 enchantments total in the deck, including a few Valgavoth Slayer, which is a cool piece for this list. It's an enchantment land that you can choose to have it produce any color when it enters. We also got an important piece for this list in Lorwyn Eclipsed in Shimmerwild's Growth. 2-mana aura that lets you basically help you fix and ramp at the same time. On Summon Fenrir as our 3-mana enchantment ramp piece of choice today over Overlord of the Hauntwoods or Earthbender Ascension for a couple reasons. Mostly, reason number one, it blocks. The other two cards aren't particularly good defensively, although they scale better. Being able to slow down the game and put a blocker in the way of your opponent's aggression, I think, is kind of important right now. The second reason is Overlord of the Hauntwoods does generate the Everywhere token, which is nice for a 5-color deck, but having to be able to access double green on turn 3 is kind of a problem. So it makes things a lot easier if you just keep yourself to the single green pip of Summon Fenrir. Otherwise, big top end in Summon Leviathan, Overlord of the Mistmoors, a bunch of enchantment-based removal, some cool one-ofs, including this Dragonback Assault, Authority of the Consuls to slow down, lots of prowess in the meta right now. And then, like I said, a few Roaring Furnace / Steaming Sauna as our backup form of card advantage. I think we're on 26 lands, a little bit of a basics package here to support the Summon Fenrir and Fabled Passage. And then we also get Urban Retreat in our mana base here. Base Bant enters tapped, but has this kind of neat ability where you can pay 2 to return a tapped creature you control to your hand to put this land on the field. It's kind of possible to imagine a scenario, I think, where we're able to like tap Marina to unlock the Steaming Sauna, and then without having to attack with her, pick her back up and continue to accrue that value. Our sideboard is completely white. 4 Voice of Victory, good against slower like blue decks, right? It'll kind of keep them honest, right? Like if they see what our main deck is all about and they take out all of their cheap removal, they might come to regret that. 3 Beza, we need some way to gain life against like aggressive red decks. Beza seems like a pretty solid choice here. There aren't really any good enchantments that are good for gaining life in standard right now, which is really weird to say. Couple of Johnny, 1 extra authority, couple Rest in Peace, and 3 Day of Judgment for go wide lists. Fun list, very grindy. Had some success with it this morning. I'm only gonna play 3 matches here today because of how grindy it is. Hopefully they go well. All right, excited to get into this one on the draw. Pretty good opener here. Opponent mulled to 6. Back to the arcade map here. Shout out to everyone that came out for my first live stream on Friday, by the way. Had a whole lot of fun. Appreciate you stopping by, and I do plan to do it again. So if you're interested in catching me on the next one, for now, I'm going to say every Friday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, I'll be here on YouTube, streaming some standard stuff. Probably more like traditional events. I had a pretty good time doing that. Opponent leading on a Badgermole Cub here. Seems fine to me to either... I could just Shimmerwild's Growth here and then next turn play a 3-drop and Seam Rip it, or I could just Seam Rip it now. It's probably better to lead on the Shimmerwild's Growth if I had to guess. Let's put this on red. The Dragonback Assault in hand. We have all 5 colors with this Fabled Passage here. I'm going to assume this is the mono-green landfall list. Dragonback Assault could come in handy. 3 damage to each creature and Planeswalker, apparently. I expected the Earthbender Ascension. So next turn we can actually go Summon Fenrir, and then Seam Rip the Badgermole Cub, and then Dragonback Assault for possibly some impact here. Let's go with the Summon Fenrir. Might as well get our swamp online for all of our colors. Hold on to this Fabled Passage. We might end up playing toward, like, not Dragonback Assaulting right away, exactly. And then maybe go for, like, a Summon Fenrir first. And then be able to play the Dragonback Assault and follow it up immediately with a Fabled Passage. 4/4 flyers. Probably better than 3/4 Tree Folk. Mossborn Hydra. Well, we have an Aang's Iceberg for this. It's going to outgrow the damage from Dragonback Assault here. Llanowar Elves. Ooh, there's a Marina. Maybe I can get them to block the Summon Fenrir here and just wipe this board. Swing for 3. They don't fall for it. Fair enough. Well, let's just go for the Fabled Passage. Let's double spell here. We'll go for another Summon Fenrir and then go for the Dragonback Assault next turn, or the Marina next turn. Both fine options. This guy will enter with a counter. It's possible that we end up having the biggest thing on the field to be able to draw off the first Summon Fenrir. See if they have anything else going on. It'd be nice to get rid of the Earthbender Ascension, but Mossborn Hydra just threatens to kill you, so always have to deal with that right away. Michelangelo, Weirdness to 11. When it enters, create a mutagen token. If one or more 1/1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many +1. Okay, works really nicely with Earthbender Ascension here, and Bossing Say. Pretty nasty. I'm going to assume most of their creatures are going to outgrow the Dragonback Assault, but maybe not. Ice Till. Ooh, okay. Going crazy now. I don't have great dedicated board wipes outside of, like, Summon Leviathan in the main deck. In my original build, I had, like, Rise of Sozin as a main deck board wipe that you can find off of Marina, but the double black, even in the top end, the double black was pretty challenging, so simplified here, keeping it mostly Bant. Imbig. Urban Retreat. Not going to be able to draw a card here, unfortunately. But I could hit like a... Seam Rip or a... Unable to Scream off of this Marina. Is there any way I can tap to be able to do either of those? I don't think so. I do have to use the island here. Alright, well, let's rip this. Gonna be hard to beat this little combination long term if we don't hit a Seam Rip here, I think. Well, there's 2 Seam Rips. Excelente. Draw 5 cards off of Marina. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. That's kind of the idea right there. Go ahead and Seam Rip Michelangelo. Gonna be able to crack their Fabled Passage here for an extra couple counters. They still have a pretty scary board, but we also hit the Summon Leviathan to be able to pick up our Marina and keep going. Looking pretty good. Looking kind of good, actually. I mean, if they don't draw some heat next turn, they're going to be kind of in a tough spot, I think. Hold back the Fenrir. Pass it back to you. Probably not going to be able to draw cards off of this Fenrir either, but I think we drew enough off of Marina. Archdruid's Charm on the Mossborn... On the Aang's Iceberg, I guess I could have tapped both of my creatures there to sack to Scry. Probably worth just holding back a block on Summon Fenrir here. Going for big land drops. I mean, Kraken, Leviathan, Merfolk, Octopus, or Serpent. So all of this stuff will be bounced. Not really sure why they're going in on the Hydra here. They know I have the Summon Leviathan in hand. They should have done this at instant speed, like in response, like after I do the summon Leviathan, right? Just kill off my Aang's Iceberg there. Kind of weird to go for it now. A little hasty. And they are hellbent now. Swing it in. Let's keep Marina around. Let's just go ahead and block a little bit of damage here. Plan to bounce Marina back to our hand. Another Aang's Iceberg, nice. No need to swing in, I think. Can't really follow this up with anything, but it should be pretty good. They crack the Fabled Passage. Makes sense. It would have been nice to have an extra land to also hit the Earthbender Ascension with the Aang's Iceberg, but we can do that next turn. Milling over a bunch of stuff. Summon Leviathan. Pass it back to you. Somewhat at parity now. Ice Till on the field. Gonna be able to generate a big Ice Till, but we have some answers now. Mossborn Hydra. We can Unable to Scream that. And then just kind of try to plan to chump the Ice Till in the future. I guess this is going to have a lot of counter, so Unable to Scream won't be quite enough to deal with it. Definitely going to bring in our board wipes. Another Seam Rip. Okay. We could draw another card. How do we navigate this? Unable to Scream at the very least takes away the Mossborn Hydra's trample. So they can make it huge, but it won't be trampling. So let's go ahead and put this on the stack. And then plan to exile the Earthbender Ascension with the Aang's Iceberg here. In response to the first fetch. And then we can also impend an Overlord for chumps. Taking them off of the trample here is the important thing, though. I could attack to draw. It might be fine, actually. Maybe it's better to have the extra chump long term. Gonna be hard to definitively deal with this board, I think, though. Without main deck, like, real board wipes at this point. I think I need to resolve another Marina, hit some extra Aang's Icebergs to just clean up everything here. I'm definitely winning the card advantage game. It's just a matter of, like, if they hit another Earthbender Ascension and can access Trample again on this Mossborn Hydra, I'm definitely donezo at that point. Big Mossborn Hydra. Impendant Overlord. Pass it back to you. See what they draw. Okay, plays a forest is a pretty good sign. Wonder if they're running out of forests in their deck. That doesn't typically happen with this mono green landfall list, but whenever you put a counter on a creature you control, draw a card. Oh, okay, that's exciting. I might have to explore this. It's a Hollow Mark Siege on a creature. Yeah, I like the sound of that. I like its casting cost, too. That's fun. Go ahead and chump with the Summon Leviathan here. It's just going to die next turn anyway, right? We're kind of chilling. I mean, if we get another Marina going, could hit some pretty solid removal and then get our Dragonback Assault online eventually to, like, actually close out the game. I might also have the window to start swinging in with the insects. put some counters on a Fabled Passage. Aang's Iceberg, huge hit for us here. And we have the mana to be able to cast a Marina and cast an Aang's Iceberg, so let's go for the Marina first here. This looks fine. Hopefully draw some more cards. Pretty likely to. Top 7 cards. Okay. Hit a Valgavoth Lair. Pretty nice. We'll just put that on white. A lot of white pips going on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's just go ahead and Aang's Iceberg the big Hydra. Get that out of our lives so we don't have to worry about it in the future. Even if they find like an Earthbender Ascension at this point, we are not exactly dead. I think I kind of want to hold back the insects still. Play it a little slow. Discard one of these Shimmer Wilds growths. And then we can make use of our efficient removal next turn. Like Unable to Scream, Ice Till. And they draw probably another land. Scoop it up. Yeah, I mean, we did it, right? Kind of exactly what I wanted to show off there. Just draw a million cards off of Marina Vendrell. And most of it being removal into these creature matchups is pretty nice. Bring in the Day of Judgments. The first Rest in Peace is probably okay. The games are likely to go long enough in this kind of matchup where they're going to hit an Ice Till eventually, and being able to deny the really busted turns makes sense here, I think. Not always. Like, if you're on a lower curved strategy, where you can just aggro out your mono green opponent, I think taking a turn off to cast Rest in Peace when they might not see Ice Till that game doesn't necessarily always make sense. The first Bez is probably fine too. Let's go down. Go down on Marina. Seam Rip is not the best here, and I think we can cut an Authority as well. Seam Rip's fine. Maybe we keep a couple. Maybe we keep a few. Outside of that, we could probably cut a land. And then a Roaring Furnace. Their stuff gets pretty big. The card advantage is nice though. Having to find red early to like use the Roaring Furnace bit though can be a little challenging. On the draw for game 2. This looks fine to me. We have a Shimmer Wilds growth into some removal. If they get out of hand with like a really fast Llanowar Elves start, could be a problem for us. Unable to Scream, pretty good draw. I don't think we need to Unable to Scream the Saz's Chocobo right away. Let's put this Valgavoth's Lair on green and plan to use our Shimmer Wilds growth next turn. Another Chocobo. Escape Tunnel. Big Chocobos. Summon Leviathan. Pretty good reset in this matchup, though. Gonna take us a little while to get there, perhaps. Starting Town's not a bad draw, because next turn it lets us go Aang's Iceberg and Unable to Scream. Let's just go for the Shimmer Wilds growth this turn. Putting this on blue. I think that makes sense to me. Unable to Scream, double blue on Summon Leviathan. Earthbender Ascension, big Chocobos, but we can manage them here. And I have this Aang's Iceberg. I might need to use it on the Earthbender Ascension. We'll see. Overlord of the Mistmoors. Interesting. Well, that would let us chump for a little bit. Probably not allowed to do that. Let's go for the... Oh, Unable to Scream. You know what? Unable to Scream on the Saz's Chocobo post counters. Kind of a problem. Maybe I should have gone for that turn 1. So in this case, maybe we go for Unable to Scream on a Forest. No. Let's just put out Chumpers this turn. It's gonna hurt. But that's what we have. And if they have Ice Till at this point, then GG. Yeah, something to think about for the future. There's the Ice Till. They're going to be able to access Trample here pretty quickly. Yeah, let's just move into the next one. I think I messed up by not able to Screaming the Saz's Chocobo early. We will not make the same mistake here. I still think... Let's go down and Unable to Scream and up a Seam Rip for those early Saz's Chocobo starts. Game 3, on the play. Yeah, I like this hand. No interaction, but we have good mana. We have great mana. And can ramp into a pretty fast Dragonback Assault here. Hopefully quickly enough for it to be relevant. They lead on a tapped Bossing Say. That's a pretty good sign for us. Let's go Shimmer Wild's Growth here on the starting town. We have red here, blue, green. Probably green is fine. We can access black in the future off this Valgavoth layer if we need it, or just find a swamp with Summon Fenrir. Promising Vein. Do you have the Cub? Michelangelo. Just a base 1/1, but makes a mutagen. Fabled Passage, not a bad draw here, actually, for the Dragonback Assault. Let's go ahead and grab Plains. And then put the Valgavoth layer on blue here. I think that makes sense to me. And then we can access all of our colors in the future if we need to, because we have the starting town. But this gives us double white, double green, double blue without having to hurt ourselves, which I think is pretty relevant. And then red off this mountain, black off this Fabled Passage, or Summon Fenrir. Okay, it looks pretty good. I think I'm going to probably just go for the Dragonback Assault next turn. And then the following turn, I have Fabled Passage plus Summon Fenrir. Nice. Oh, this doesn't work with Earthbend. Oh, no, it did. Okay. I got a little confused because Badgermole is just Earthbend 1, right? Okay, well, we get to ranch them. That's huge. And a Day of Judgment to follow up for the future. Extra huge. Might as well swing. Got them to fall for it. Just kidding. Hit them with the Dragonback Assault. Pretty huge for us here. Gonna be a great tool to close out the game against them. Gonna be hard for them to deal with the 4/4 flyers, I think. And then if they, like, in response to this, try to dump out their hand here, we just have a Fabled Passage, or a Day of Judgment we can follow it up with. Mikey and Leo. Chaos and Order. Them's Turtles. Does this guy have a little goatee? Is that what I'm seeing here? Badgermole Cub. Doing the thing. Gets to draw a card. Well, I kind of feel like we just wipe this board again anyway and then go for our Fabled Passage Dragon stuff. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. We kind of get to have it all here. Get absolutely ranched, and I don't feel bad whatsoever. I'm tired of this matchup. Okay, and they scoop it up to the Dragons. GG. All right, 1-0. Pretty nice start. Fun list. Let's head into the next one. Match 2 on the play. Okay, not going to complain about this. Let's just lead on a Fabled Passage here. Probably putting it on white. There's a Llanowar Elves. Let's go for the Seam Rip on the Elves and then hold the Unable to Scream for the Badgermole Cub follow-up. Grab a Plains. Ooh, nice draw. Everything's kind of coming up Eric here. Come on, Badgermole Cub. Go for it. Forest, Badgermole Cub. We're taking a turn off to do this, but I think it's worth it. Another Seam Rip. Go for the Unable to Scream on the Forest here. Pass it back to you. Could Seam Rip the Cub, but I'm not too worried about that. Loses all abilities. Functionally a Stone Rain. Hits me for 3. Esper Origins. Okay, nice. We have a Seam Rip for that. Summon Leviathan. Pretty good hit. We just need to hit our land drops here. Let's grab another... With the starting town on the field, I think it makes sense to grab another Plains. Or we could grab a Swamp, just in case we draw Marina. How about a Mountain? And then we have black off starting town if we need it. We can use the red to cast this Dragonback Assault. Double blue, double white. Cracks a Fabled Passage. 3 mana available. I think if they offer... Do I block if they offer to trade? Probably not, although it would reduce their material a little bit, and I'm probably not going to be drawing a card off of this anyway. On the other hand, maybe I am drawing a card off of this. I also think if I impend this Overlord, it'll technically get a 1/1 counter, but be an enchantment creature. When you cast a creature spell this turn, and impending is a creature spell, it just enters as an enchantment. Earthbender Ascension. Wouldn't be surprised if they just decide to put the counters on this forest. And they do. Oh, and that overwrites Unable to Scream. Is that right? Interesting. Well, I'll go ahead and block this. I think that makes sense. They get to trigger their Earthbender Ascension again. There's Marina. Nice draw, but we are 1 land away. Just go for the Overlord here. Clog up the board. We have a Seam Rip for the Esper Origins, but if they go for like an Ice Till here, maybe we're ranched. Back-to-back mono green landfall matchup. The run back. Let's see if we can win it twice in a row. We kind of have to hit a land drop here, though. That seems pretty mission critical. Are you guys fans of big 5-color piles, generally speaking? Do you ever try them out in Standard or other formats? One of my favorite draft archetypes, like in Cube, if I'm doing a Cube, I love a 5-color pile. Outside of that, you know, the inconsistency, it could wear on you a little bit, I feel like. I do have to Aang's Iceberg this Earthbender Ascension. I might as well wait for them to crack this fetch. Let's just pass it back. I think hitting them with the insects is not really the way we're going to be winning this. Esper Origins. I wonder if we respond to this by Aang's Iceberg on the Earthbender Ascension. Because if they reveal a land, they get to maintain priority and play the land. There's your land. Yeah, that's a little annoying. Oh, go for another Esper Origins. Might Form Harmonizer. Ooh. Okay. Not ideal. First land. See what they go for here. How much I can make them commit. Maybe should have Seam Ripped the Badgermole Cub sooner, although it gave them a little extra mana to work with, essentially, right? A block like this. Yeah, I'm not sure I can win through this, because they fetch here. And then I go for Aang's Iceberg, and then they fetch anyway. Double the Badgermole Cub power. Kill me? I could also just try to exile the Badgermole Cub, and then... Yeah, I guess I just have to exile the Badgermole Cub, right? Try to slow down the game that way. Going for a big forest. What up, big forest? Yeah, I can't beat this if they actually just buff the forest again. But maybe I just take this, you know? I think I just take this. Because if I respond with an Aang's Iceberg, they fetch. And now I have to Aang's Iceberg this Earthbender Ascension, maybe? I'm not sure. There's not really a world in which I win here. Missing my lane drop, kind of critical in that moment. All right, on to game 2. Bring in our board wipes. Same sideboard plan here. Day of Judgments, no Johnny, no Authority. 2 unable to scream. What did we cut last time? A Roaring Furnace and an Overlord. And did I have the first Beza in? I think that makes sense to me. Try it like that. All right. On the play. Okay. Well, our games have looked pretty good when we've opened with the Shimmer Wild's growth, so let's keep this. Unfortunately, most of our mana is tapped here, but if they don't have a particularly fast start, we could be okay. Forest is a pretty nice draw for us here, though. Let's put this on red in case we draw Roaring Furnace, and then we can cast everything else with these colors. Saz's Chocobo. Yeah, I mean, Saz's Chocobo is pretty much always going to be a problem for us. I like the Marina in hand, though. It gives us the long game at the very least, and a lot of Fabled Passages for this Dragonback Assault in the future. We kind of just have to fade the next couple turns. So we have red, green, blue, white. I mean, I can put this Valgavoth's Lair on white in case we draw a Day of Judgment here. And then fetch for a swamp. Casting the Esper Origins. Digging. Been to Mightform Harmonizer. Makes me think they have a Mightform Harmonizer, which is not ideal for us. This is their turn, though. We get to cast a Marina. Draw another Marina. Okay. See what we hit here. Hopefully a bajillion cards. Give us some options. Okay. Got some options. Would have been nice to hit like a Summon Leviathan at that moment. Hopefully we're not just dead. I kind of can see a scenario where we are just dead. Or at the very least, like, certainly dead next turn. There's the Harmonizer, but do they have a way to access Trample, is kind of the question. And this is just warped, right? Ice Till? Yeah, they get to go big, but they're going to do that anyway, you know? Hit me for a big chunk. They're cracking the Fabled Passage now, but they already hit both of their land drops. They should have saved this. Probably. I mean, you know what it is. Yeah, I don't know if I can beat this next turn, though, outside of drawing like a Day of Judgment right now. I can Aang's Iceberg. I can Shimmer Wild's Growth and Aang's Iceberg. I can... The trample from the third chapter of Esper Modwin is the real problem here. Because I can put out chumps. If I Marina Vendrell into like a Unable to Scream, then they just spread the love between Saz's Chocobo and Llanowar Elves here. I think I'm just dead. Yeah, I'm not seeing it out. Let's do one final Marina here. Oh, I can only hit a Seam Rip. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm toast there. Too many land drops, clear Mightform Harmonizer, maybe need some amount of Get Losts for the side, but that's just part of it, you know. Big clunky enchantment list. Aang's Iceberg is pretty good, but 3 mana, you know, versus 2 in that kind of window where we could have had, like, if we had Get Lost, we could have instead had the Get Lost and put out 2 chumpers for the Mightform Harmonizer situation. So let's play one more match. Hopefully not against Mono Green Landfall this time. Okay, decent hand here. Quite a lot of removal. This is good if this is like the prowess matchup. Or mono red, perhaps. Could be good in a mono red. Lead on... Well, we have the option to lead on an Unable to Scream here. Keep this from getting out of hand. Probably makes sense to lead on the Urban Retreat, though. No, let's plan to go Unable to Scream and then put this on red. Roaring Furnace, the next 2 plays. Needlehead. Put this on red. Go for a Roaring Furnace. And then we'll have a window to play the Urban Retreat, and then refill with Marina after exhausting all of our removal here. Actually might be able to turn on some Steaming Saunas this game. Nova Hellkite. Fine. Big chunk. Summon Fenrir. Yeah, I don't really want to hurt myself to cast that, though. Doesn't seem super worth it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm not really sure. Opening up our mana is good. At the same time, another extra little 2 damage could add up. Burst Lightning on the Fenrir, that's fine. Tursa. I think the ideal draw now is just like an untapped land where we can kill the Tursa with Roaring Furnace and then hold up Aang's Iceberg. Unfortunately, that is not the draw. Kill off the Tursa here. Shimmer Wild's Growth here. Put this on blue. Play an Urban Retreat. Pass it to ya. Cross our fingers here. What is this? Taka and Razar, terrible 2s. The spell can be countered menace whenever a player casts a spell if the amount of mana spent to cast it was less than its mana value. Deals 3 damage to that player. Not really a problem for us. Go ahead and get Marina on the field. Oh, it pinged me for 1. I probably should have played... I probably shouldn't have auto-tapped in that situation. Draw some cards. Unable to Scream. Pretty great hit. Some lands. Hitting all of our land drops here. Put this on blue. Pass it to ya. Okay. Huge for us. Let's go ahead and unlock a room. We could also lock this Roaring Furnace to repeatedly use it in the future if we needed to. But I'm just going to hold up this Aang's Iceberg and pass. We could also pick up our Marina in that window. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I just have to hold up the Aang's Iceberg. Start drawing some cards. We don't really have to have any ways to fight back on life total, though, is the real problem. First lightning to the face, hoping they draw a land here, or they're hoping they draw a land. Could have a lightning strike in hand here as well. Just passes. Doesn't go for the Nova Hellkite. I think they're just gonna kick in another burst lightning, unfortunately. Go ahead and cast this big Overlord, I guess. Yeah, I think they just have another burst lightning. Yep. Okay. Dang. I mean, I guess shocking myself earlier, you know, had a little bit of an impact. Bring in the Authority of the Consuls. Bring in the Bezas. I think we can win this one. We have so much removal in the main. Let's go down to Summon Leviathans. Or rather, so much removal across the deck. I think we want it like this. Probably want the Day of Judgments too, to be honest. At least a couple of them. I think we can win without Dragonback Assault. And then just plan on winning with a couple Overlords of the Mistmoors and Marina beats. And then I don't know what else to cut. It's all good. Maybe down to 3 Marina. Try it like that. It's all good. This should be a solid matchup for us post-board, I think, weirdly enough. 4 Seam Rip, 3 Unable to Scream, Bezas. I think this is a fine hand. Early Seam Rip, Beza in hand. We can access this Roaring Furnace, and then just need to hit 1 land to be able to get up to Beza mana off of this Summon Fenrir. Mountain. And there's our 1 land. Play Starting Town, pass it to ya. Feeling pretty good here. Needlehead. Needlehead is fine. Let's just go for the Summon Fenrir here. Grab probably another Plains. Although we have double white. Maybe an island here. Yeah, I don't really understand this one. I guess it's good against, like, the Is It Spell Elementals, maybe? I don't think it does anything against me. Razorkin, Needlehead triggers. Let's spend this turn, I think, just cleaning up the board with our removal. We can fetch for a mountain first. Save that point of life. Kill off the Needlehead. I mean, it doesn't really matter what we choose here. I don't think they have any way of removing a Seam Rip, right? Trying to get low on cards in hand to be able to redraw off the Beza. And in that position, I wouldn't have gotten tokens anyway. Sunspine Lynx. A good amount of basics on the field, though. Aang's Iceberg. Pretty good draw. You know, I missed a window to Aang's Iceberg in response to my with my Saga trigger on the stack there. It's kind of interesting how, once again, another thing that just based on the environment we're playing in, that's something that's going to potentially occur. Whereas it's like something that, yeah, duh, just do it in paper. But because I didn't have the stop set, it's like they played the Sunspine Lynx, passed immediately, and then for some reason, like, why doesn't Arena inherently put that trigger on the stack and let me pause? Is it like one of my settings I have? I don't know. I don't really understand that sometimes. Another Lynx on the field. Fortunately for us, we have another Aang's Iceberg. And then we can follow it up with a Beza, gain some life back, draw a card. Pretty huge. Marina off the top. Let's go. Authority of the Consuls. Let's go. Let's go for the Marina. And they scoop it up. Great. Yeah, the links make sense, but we're actually on a pretty high basic count. Being on this Fabled Passage, like Summon Fenrir plan, as far as our mana goes. Let's bring in another Day of Judgment on the draw here. And go down. Maybe we can afford to go down like a land. Probably fine. Try it like that. Ooh, this hand's kind of close. Having the Authority of the Consuls in hand is huge game, but being a one-lander, we have to mulligan. I mean, this hand's kind of crazy. Yeah, definitely going to keep it. Let's put back a Fabled Passage, I think, here is fine. Mountain, Hired Claw. Plains, huge draw. Let's go with the Authority first. And then if they want to just start by attacking with Hired Claw over and over, I think that's okay. We can nab it with the Seam Rip next turn. Fine. Another Day of Judgment, nice. Now show me some action. Show me some action. Let's put this on... Ooh. We can get double white off of Starting Town, but we save ourselves a little life. Let's put this on... red, right? Because I'm most likely to draw. I'm most likely to draw a blue source or a white source or a green source, and I have those things already. I want to be able to cast Marina if I do draw it. Play a Starting Town and just pass here, and then. I think that makes sense. Oyer Axanil. Go for the Day of Judgment here. Gonna get hit for a little bit. Aang's Iceberg. They get an extra land, but we're shutting down their Nova Hellkites right now, which is the important thing. Legend of Roku. Nice. Sunspine Lynx, not so nice. Another Hired Claw. Yeah, we need some real action here. Shimmerwild's Growth, not quite. Let's go ahead and tap like this. Put the Shimmerwild's Growth on black. No, might as well do blue on this layer, and we can get black off of the Starting Town if we really need it. And hold up this Aang's Iceberg. Yeah. Mounton, Sunspine Lynx. Bit of a problem. I'm kind of thinking I might just like Aang's Iceberg the Legend of Roku and then go for another Day of Judgment. They transform. Oh, okay. They transform the Temple of Power back into Oyer Axonil. Yeah, I kind of think I'm committed to the line. It involves taking a chunk of damage here, but kind of the cleanest answer to everything going on. Not super ideal. Beza. Huge draw if I can survive a turn here, but if they just fire up the Soulstone Sanctuary and have a Burst Lightning, nothing I can do about that. Had to wipe the board. Beza wouldn't have done anything with the Sunspine Lynx on the field. I guess I could go like Unable to Scream on the Lynx and then play a Beza. Maybe survive another turn with chumps. Nova Hellkite warped. I think they forgot about my Authority of the Consuls in that moment. Huge for me, not huge for them. Twisted Felty. Oh, the Twisted Felty untapped tech. Huge with a Burst Lightning to finish it off. Nice. Good play. Good play. GG's. GG's. Shout out. That was a nice one. That was a really great play. All right. 1 and 2 overall. Fun run. Almost came close to beating Mono Red in the end there. Got a match win against Mono Green and then lost to Mono Green as well. Would have been nice to play into some more, like, I don't know, just like grindy matches maybe, where like Marina would really shine. But when we did cast Marina, she did kind of effectively end the game most of the time, I think. There was one hit really early on where we got like 5 or 6 cards off of her. But otherwise, she looked great as just sort of a way to refill after casting all of our removal and sort of put the finishing blow on our opponents as far as like winning the card advantage race goes. Fun list. Let me know what you think. I'll be here posting standard content every day. Like I said, streaming on Fridays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, if you like this video, hit me with a subscribe. That would be awesome. Come on back. Let me know what you think in the comments. And appreciate you watching. Hope you have a beautiful day, as always. See you on the next one.